Okay, so here we are. We're just at the entrance to the woodland. We found some nettles. You'll find in woodlands and places like this, nettles like to grow on verges at the edge of paths or where there's more light and more disturbance, when the ground's disturbed. You'll easily find them at the edge of football fields or in gardens or streets and things like that we're looking for. So we're going to pick some and take them back to camp and start making some string with them. Interesting thing about nettles is moths and butterflies lay their eggs in the leaves, and these are the seeds, and they lay their eggs in the seeds as well to protect them as well. Okay, so let's crack on and get them. So safety first, we're going to pull our sleeves down and put on a pair of gloves. Okay, ordinary garden gloves will do. And the thing with collecting nettles is you ain't got to be shy, you've got to be bold. So we'll find some and we'll just pull them from the root and snap the root off, so we've got the stalk. That looks like quite a good one. Okay, snap the bottom off. And let's get one more for good measure. That looks a good one. Okay. Okay, so we'll take these and we'll head on back to camp, and I'll see you there. Okay, so we're back at our little camp now. As you can see, we've got our nettles with us. On the way back, I also picked up a couple of little deadfall sticks, and we're going to need these when we start processing our nettles. So we'll take one of our nettles. Now, as you can see, this is how it grows out the ground. The stalks come out to the side, but also slightly upwards, and we need to clear the leaves and the small stalks off going up the plant like that. If we go down the plant, we'll get tears in the fibres that we need to make our string, so we need to go upwards. Now, any little bits like this we can just break off with our finger and thumb. Yeah, once you've got it like that, if you just rub it up and down, okay, remembering keep your gloves on, okay, and that kills any of the little stinging barbs that are on the stalk. From this point we can take our gloves off if we wanted to, and it won't sting us. Okay, nice and easy. Now, this thin little bit at the top, it's not really any good, so we're just going to snap it off. Now, when we look at our nettle stalk, you can see every so often there's little nodules running along it where the branches and the leaves come out, the leaf stalks come out. And they're quite hard and quite difficult. So what we need to do is break them first. This is where our little branches come in handy. So we'll put one down, and what we're going to do is where each, just very gently along the stalk, we're just going to tap it. And a little bit harder, you can see that. A little bit harder where the nodules are. I'm just going to run it all along. There. Once you've broken it, you'll see it starts to break up into little fibres. Okay, what we want to do is split them open so we can open the plant out. So get your thumbnail, prise it open a little bit, and then with your thumb just push it along so you can open it up. Hope you can see that. Okay, and then just tease it out. And the other way, and then that's it, we've opened the plant out. Okay, you can see it's already starting to split off into fibres. Now, if you can see close up inside, the inside of the plant is quite woody, and if we bend it back, you can see it starts to snap. And what we need to do is pull very, very carefully, pull all those woody bits out. So what you can do is just peel it like this slowly, or break it in half, lay it over your finger, put your thumb behind the upright woody bits. With the other hand, just very gently pull backwards and feed it through. There we go. And there we've got all the woody bits that we don't need, so we can chuck them on our fire. Turn it round and do the same with the other bits going the other way. So thumb behind the woody bit, fibrous plant laid over your finger, and then just pull it gradually, like so. And then we'll just get rid of those. And then what we're left with is 4 or 5 strands of the nettle outer sort of bark, if you want. Okay, and we're going to split that into about 4 or 5 strands. Okay, very carefully just peeling it apart, and when you get to one of those nodules, you might have to just ease it apart with your thumb and your finger, like so. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3. Let's try that one. We'll keep that at 3. So you've got these strands here, and what I want you to do is fold them in half, or fold them over your finger but not quite in half, so you've got a longer thinner one and a shorter thicker one. Okay, we'll do it that way. A longer thinner one, a shorter thicker one, like so. Okay, like that. And then what we're going to do, we're going to start to twist it. Okay, so here we are, and you can see we've got the nettle fibres folded over my finger. I'm going to roll, because they're quite flat, we need to get them rolled. Just gently, just twist them round so you get, I'm starting to twist. Okay, and then what you're going to do is you're going to roll it, hold it tightly between your thumb and fingers of one hand. I'm using my right hand because I'm dominant with my left hand, but you can just as easy do it the same with the other way around. Okay, so roll it quite tightly and then pull it back over, holding it tightly between your thumb and your finger of your other hand. Hold it like that, and then with that strand roll that forward as well. And then what you're going to do is you're going to pull that back over the one that you've just done. Okay, roll that forward and twist it back. While you're holding it there, move your thumb and finger forward onto where the knot is, if you want. Okay, so we're going to roll, twist back, roll it forward and twist it back, and then move our thumb and forefinger, gripping it tightly. So roll it forward and twist it back over itself. Roll it forward, twist it back, and just keep doing that. Keep doing that. Keep going forward. Now, eventually, what will happen is you'll see that you start to get a twist going on that won't unravel when you let it go. So we're just going to keep doing that, holding it tightly between our thumb and forefinger at the join point there, and then rolling one strand forward and then twisting it back over the other strand. Rolling that strand forward, twisting it back over the other strand, and keep doing that. Roll it forward, twist it back, periodical untangle, and then roll it forward, twist it back, and we're going to keep doing all the way down till we get towards the end, and then I'll show you how to fill in and feed in more strands to get a longer piece of string. Okay, so as you can see, a few minutes have gone by and I've done that much, and what's starting to happen is the stalks, one stalk is getting thicker and another side, the other end is getting thinner. Now if we carry on doing that, what will happen is when this dries, the thinner side becomes much weaker and it'll just snap. So we need to thicken that up, and how we do that is we take another one of the nettle strands that we had, we'll take the thin side, okay, and we'll lay it over the thin end. Don't worry about it having a long tail, okay, that's fine, we can get rid of that. And then we're going to start to twist that together like we did before. We're just going to twist them both and then twist it back. So we're rolling forward again and twisting back. This time we've got the two strands that are joining on. Okay, so there's the shorter, thicker one. Roll it forward, twist it back. There's the two strands. Roll them forward together and then twist them over the thicker one. We anchor our thumbs and we just carry on like we were doing before. Rolling forward, twisting back, rolling forward, twisting back. And what we're trying to do is get the twist, if you can look, I don't know if you can see that, but each twist is about 40 to 45 degrees. And that means it's nice and tight and sharp, and when it dries out it'll stay like that. Okay. Another important thing I want to mention to you is we're using wet nettles, and that's not ideal. What we need to do is let them dry out a little bit first. Usually when I pick nettles, I usually let them dry out overnight, and that makes them good to work with, and I'll show you that in a few minutes. We'll carry on with this for now though. So we're going to twist it forward, roll it forward and twist it back. There's the shorter one. Roll it forward, twist it back, roll it forward, twist it back, so on and so forth. I'm just going to keep doing that. This is a really good activity to do when you're sat by a campfire on a night. So once your guide sessions are back up, or your brownie sessions are back up and running, and you're sat at a camp and you've got nothing to do, grab your gloves, go get some nettles and sit and make yourself some cordage, and then you can store that in your kits for when you might need it. It's really good. Okay, so this is the nettle piece of nettle that we've been working on, and as you can see it's all floppy and wet and damp and whatever. And like I said earlier on, this is better when it's dried. It's stronger and more durable when it's dried. This is quite weak and will snap quite easily. If you look, just like that, it'll just snap. And as this dries out, all that tight weave that we've put into it will slacken off slightly. Okay, but it's a good way to start learning how to do this, because it's nice and durable and flexible, and you can learn to do it easier with wet nettles. So this is the nettle I collected yesterday and dried it out in my kitchen. I just left it on my kitchen table and it dried out overnight naturally. Okay, it's a little bit woody, but the process for making the cordage is exactly the same. We just have to make it a little bit damp to make it flexible and usable. And the way we do that is we take the cordage and we just wet it. Now the simplest way, especially when you're in a woodland like this, is just to wet it with your tongue through your mouth, like that. And as you can see, it starts to get a bit more flexible. A couple of times, just over halfway, and then we start the twisting all over again. Now, if it's still a little bit woody, just wet it a bit more. That's better, and then we can start it again. So as before, twist it forward, roll it back, twist it forward, roll it back, twist it forward, roll it back, and as you can see, we're starting to get it, starting to happen. Okay, so that little piece of dried nettle that I've just twined it up. So we've got our little string there, and it's quite strong. Okay, now obviously same process as before. This is our wet nettle. To make it longer, we just keep adding it in. Okay, if you and your friend wanted to have a go at this, what you could do is you could make some dried nettle string and then join them together, and it's the same process, except you tie a knot in one end like so, and that joins the two pieces together, and then same as before, you're twisting and rolling, twisting and rolling, twisting, and that starts to make your nettles thicker. And that's how to make nettle cordage. Now what I've got here, this is nettles that we've been using. This is a string called sisal, and again it's the same sort of thing. It's another plant, and they take the fibres and they weave them together, and as you can see it's exactly the same. If I unravel it a little bit, it's quite tight, and it's just one piece that's been rolled in half and then done exactly the same as we've just been doing, and it gets longer and longer and longer, so it's got a knot in the end. So that's how to make nettle string. or make cordage out of nettles. I hope you found that interesting, and if you're not at school and you're a bit bored one day, you decide to go out into your garden or along the roadside and whatever, find yourself a nettle and have a go at doing it yourself. Remember, safety kit is gloves. I bought these are children's gardening gloves from Asda, and they cost £1, so you can get them quite cheaply and you can keep your hands from getting stung and be nice and safe. Okay, have fun. Bye for now.